I'm just leaving the yard on what is a pissy, wet, miserable day to talk about how Black Lives Matter, because of course they do. All lives matter, not just black lives, everyone's lives, white lives, Chinese lives, everybody's lives. We've proven that with our massive global lockdown from coronavirus to save lives. I don't know if it was a big panic or what, but it proves that people's hearts are in the right place collectively and generally. But, and I say but, generally means there's plenty of exceptions. Now what I'm seeing in the news is a brutal police force in America, but then why are they all behaving like that? Why have they got into these jobs? I had a chat with my labourer, 2 names, yesterday, and he reckons they're all rife with PTSD, they're all jittery because there's so many guns on the streets. Their police go to work every day thinking today could be the day I get shot. It sounds a little bit like a line from a movie, doesn't it? Like, today could be the day that I die. I mean, you wouldn't want to go to work on your last day before you retired, would you? It's the last day before you retired. Anyway, that's why they're murdering people. I say murdering people, you know, these things haven't been fully settled yet. But from how it looked, they murdered that guy. And his life should have mattered. And it really has kicked people up all over the world. There's protests everywhere. I mean, here in London, Hyde Park, they're having them. They're bringing them out to the sticks, like Margate's having them, and all over the country every weekend now. These massive protests as well have kind of brought a de facto end to lockdown, which kind of goes to show just how much people do think lives matter. Because, and I'm saying lives, not just black lives, everybody's lives, because they've all sat all huddled up, hidden away in their houses for the best part of 3 months, hiding from this virus, because they're worried that it'll kill people more. They're spreading it, might kill elderly people or risk people. Fat people, those are the ones. Anyway, you're not allowed to say that, are you? But those are the ones that are at risk, other than the elderly. But nonetheless, we all care about these people, and so that's why people have been holed up. Now suddenly, people care about a cause more than they care about being holed up in their house. Now that's excellent, because that shows that they care about equality for people, they care about treating people properly, they care about making sure that there's a police force you can get behind, not some sort of bizarre paramilitary group like the Americans have got right now. On the flip side, it could just be that everyone's got cabin fever and has been desperate for an excuse to get out. Who knows? But anyway, I've got an alternative for Black Lives Matter. Firstly, I think black lives do matter. I think all lives matter. So plenty of people have said perhaps we should call it All Lives Matter. I've got a further alternative to that. Don't be a cunt. If you're thinking about being a cunt, don't act on it. If we all just took that simple advice, none of this would be happening. That geezer kneeling on the fella's neck till he died, he was being a cunt. He knew he was being a cunt. The geezer was screaming, he said he couldn't breathe. He went limp for a while, he kept leaning on it. It's disgusting, it's appalling, it was caught on camera, and the geezer was being a cunt. If he'd not acted on that impulse, it all would have been well. There was no need for that. It's like sticking the boot in after a pub fight. It's just unnecessary. The geezer's on the floor, you've got him. You don't need to basically torture him at the same time. So I'll just reiterate that once more before this short post is finished. Just don't be a cunt. If you're thinking about being a cunt, don't act on it. Don't be a cunt.